Yep, I'd say it's got some power. Talk to you later. Hey everybody, Dave here from Wag's Automotive again, and we're back in North Carolina. And that truck that I showed you guys, that drag truck, has got here's the 48 that I'm going to put that frame underneath of. So I want to show that to you. Let's do a little walk around on it, and we'll check it out and see what we got here. All right, let's take a look. Get my camera off the mount here. There we go. All right, so this is a 1948 Chevy truck, and as you can see, it's in pieces. This is the way we bought it. And it needs a little work. Got a little 6-cylinder in it. I'm not sure what size it is, 216, 235, something like that. Stove bolt, they call it the stove bolt engine. And this thing's been sitting for, I don't know, 20 plus years, 30 plus years. It's been sitting a long time. You can tell by looking at it. Been sitting there a while, and the engine hasn't been started, so we're going to do a first start on this engine, see if it'll start. But we'll take a look at this truck first, and my parts we got here. So we got, looks like we got a little bit of body work down there. There's probably some fiberglass, and we're going to have to probably weld metal in there. I don't like that very much. And on the cab corners, which is normal. Rocker panels look pretty good. They're not too bad. And we got some new parts in here. We got some, it's like a floor pan for the driver's side, and floor pan for the passenger side. That one's been trimmed. And we got a kick panel there. And we got a transmission cover. That's a glove box door. Got the fan off the engine. And we got door hinges. Got window regulators, and looks like the door opening mechanism. I need to clean this thing out and look at it. There's another one. There's a, looks like brake hoses over there. There's a catalog, and let's see what else. I don't know what these are. Looks like it might be maybe a, let's see here, it might be a threshold maybe, go there. I don't know, you guys ever seen that before? You guys that have done this, this is my first time doing this, so, you know, this is basically the oldest vehicle I've ever worked on, but it's pretty clean inside. It's had, somebody started on it and then I guess lost interest or whatever, but the dash has been stripped, it's bare metal, and you know, they cut the floors out, never finished those. Started doing some body work on it, but I mean, it doesn't look too bad. Back of the cab there, we'll look at that. It is a 5-window, which is the desirable one, so that's cool. Looks like we got a little bit of fiberglass work there. If I have to weld a little metal in there, but really, the back of the cab doesn't look too bad at all. Pretty decent. And this is the front of the bed, and it looks like it's, I don't know what that is there, that cut line. It almost looks to me like someone put a new top piece in and left the bottom half in. So that'll probably need to be replaced. But the bed sides, here's the bed sides. They don't look too bad. You know, the paint on this thing, I think this thing's probably been restored at some point in its life, and then it's just sat and kind of fallen out of disrepair. There's the inside of the bed. And we'll walk around here. Here's the doors. Now these doors look pretty good, not too bad, but I got a feeling they're probably going to need some help. Just by looking at the cab, I'm guessing that these doors probably have had some fiberglass work done to them too. Let's flip it over and look at the other side. Yeah, see that down there? See that? That's all fiberglass. You know, and I'm going to talk to the owner of this truck and see what he wants to do, if he wants to leave it like that or buy new doors, or I'm not sure if you can get them metal pieces or not. I'll have to figure that out, but I mean, I can see metal in there, so it's not completely rotted away. It's just someone filled it in with, looks like filled it in with fiberglass, but I mean, that might be acceptable to him. I don't know. It's his truck, so this door here's got a window in it. Still got the regulator and the door handle and all that, so that's all there, but it's missing like a panel down there. And I think there's a panel that goes across here too. I got some cardboard panels to put in there, some brand new ones. And speaking of brand new, here's a bunch of parts for it. Seals and some sheet metal patch panels. There's a bunch of little parts in there, trim and emblems and things like that. A bunch of rubber parts. There's an intake manifold, and this is the engine that we're going to put in it. It's a 350 Chevy, 76 model. It's been rebuilt. It came out of a Malibu of mine, and it's got like, I think 3,000 or 4,000 miles on it. I didn't drive it very much. It's not the original engine. I got the original engine, and I had the machine work done on it. It's ready to be reassembled and put back in the car. So I sold him this engine because I don't need it anymore. And let's look at this other door. Yeah, it looks the same way. It's got some primer down there on the bottom. But again, you know, it's not in too bad a shape. It might be okay. You know, we'll just have to figure out what we can do with it. Definitely need some help. Looks like if we're going to replace that channel there, that doesn't look good. But I mean, the door itself, you know, for being, now that it's 2023, this truck's 75 years old this year. So, you know, for being 75 years old, this truck ain't in that bad a shape. Now, if any of you guys are watching this and you're wanting to do this, you got a 48, I think it's 47 to 52 Chevy truck, and you're needing some parts, we're going to sell the frame with the rear end, and we're going to sell the engine and transmission out of this thing. So if anybody needs that, hit me up and we'll see what we can do. But we got to do, I want to do a first start. They told us this engine was running when parked. Of course, you know, that's the famous saying, running when parked. But we'll do a first start on this engine here in a little bit and see what we can figure out on it. My brother's done some preliminary work on it. I told him to pull the spark plugs out and dump some transmission fluid or marble mystery oil or something down the plug hole. So he's done that, and it does turn over. We checked that first. It does turn over. So we're going to crank it, and I think I'm going to do a compression test on it to see if it's got decent compression, and then we'll crank it over a little bit and see if we can get it to start. So this thing, you know, up in here, you got some rust down there, but they make patch panels for all that stuff. And, you know, the firewall, it looks pretty decent. It's got all the factory holes in it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that, but we'll figure that out. And, oh yeah, we're not going to use the original steering column either if anybody needs that. So we're going to get rid of that. So, okay, so now that we've seen the truck, here's the front end of it. We'll go up here and look at the roof. You know, the cab actually looks in really good shape. It looks to me like somebody had a visor on it at one point. The cab actually looks in really good shape other than the bottom portion of it, which is normal. I haven't crawled underneath of it yet, so I need to get underneath there and look at that. All right, so let's, somebody converted it to 12 volts at one point, so, you know, that kind of gives me an idea that it's had some work done to it, or it's been running in the past and had modification done to it because it's been converted to 12 volts. So I think at some point somebody painted it and, you know, made it into a driver and converted over to 12 volts. So, I mean, I don't know anything about the truck, don't know the history of it, but that's what we got so far on it. So you can see that. And now we'll go outside and we'll look at the rest of the parts that we have for it. Okay. There's my brother and his grandson. They're getting the mini bike going. All right, let's walk back here. We'll take a look at these parts back here. See what we got. Okay. There's the big parts there. And we got some little parts here. We've got, this is the hood latch mechanism, and it's okay. But it does have a little bit of damage right there that I can probably fix, but I may just get a new one of those because they aren't that expensive. And this is the radiator lower support. It's rusted on both ends, so I don't know that it's usable. I'll have to figure that out. And the running boards. The running boards on this thing, I am really surprised. There's one dent right there in that one. And other than the rust that's on them, you know, they're in super nice condition. And yeah, I think they're definitely usable. So we'll use them. Here's the radiator core support, and the radiator we're not going to use. We're going to put aluminum radiator in it. But the core support looks good, so we'll probably use that. Here's some window trim I don't think I'm going to use. I'm missing one piece, so there's a piece that goes on the inside and a piece that goes on the outside, so we're going to have to buy new ones of those. All right, now let's walk over here, and we'll look at the front end parts. So this hood was given to him when he bought the truck. They said it was not the hood that came off the truck. The hood that came off the truck, I guess they sold it or something. The one thing that concerns me about this hood the most is it's got holes drilled all the way around to there, so I have to fill all those holes in. It looks to me like at some point somebody had some sort of a big huge hood scoop on this thing or something. I don't know, it's kind of weird. But you know, this hood ain't bad. But the thing you got to understand when you're doing vehicles like this, you gotta think about how much labor it's going to take to fix this hood as compared to buying a new hood. Well, you know, labor rates are, you know, $100, $150 an hour now. So, you know, I could spend, I think a hood is like, I want to say $500 or $600. And, you know, if you spend, you know, 5 or 6 hours working on this, you've got a used hood that's not new, and it's, you know, could potentially have rust through in the future, and then you've got to worry about that. So, you know, you got to kind of take that into account. And we'll look at the front fenders here. This is the passenger side fender there. Again, it doesn't look too bad. The front fenders actually on this thing are I'm amazed, they are pretty nice. There's the passenger side one. Even the back part that tends to rust out doesn't look too bad on it. So I think we could probably clean those up and use them. Here's the driver's side fender. Here, let's flip this one over. There we go. So you can see the inside of it. You can see there's a headlight bucket, and it's got surface rust on it. But even like back here, where, you know, gravel and dirt gets thrown, I mean, even that bend right there is, you know, there's surface rust on it, but it's not terrible. And of course the inner fender's in good shape. You got to trim that to get the S10 frame on there anyhow, so I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, this thing's pretty clean. I'm surprised the front fenders look that good. And the other one, you know, it looks basically the same, but I mean, there's really no, if you look at it, there's no, when you look at something like this, you want to look at the inside, because the inside is where it shows you whether it's bodywork. So let's look at these rear fenders. Now see, this fender here looks pretty good. It's got a little bit of stuff right there on the bottom. But, you know, other than that, from this side, it looks pretty nice. You can see that, and, you know, it's had some work done on it. This one here is the same way. You know, these fenders, you know, when you look at them, to the untrained eye, they look, yeah, that looks pretty good. But then, if you take them and you roll them over, I'm trying to do this with my phone in my hand, and you look on the inside, well, what do we got? We got aluminum tape that's been put on the inside. You can see all the way from there to the bottom. It's had aluminum tape put on it, and some kind of goop put over the top of that. It's got aluminum tape in that corner. So basically, what was going on with this fender, and of course it's got this right here, which probably wouldn't be too hard to fix. But basically what we got going on is we've got pinholes, rust pinholes in this fender, and so they cleaned it off on the inside and put aluminum tape on it, and then put body putty on the outside to cover up the pinholes, and then they undercoated or whatever on the inside. I don't know. They did the same thing here, and I think this fender here, if I remember right, it's the same way. Let's look at it real quick. This one here is probably in a little better shape. So you can see the stuff they've got gooped up on the inside there. But now the edge of this one, all the way around, that's good. So this fender's in a little better shape. But they've got stuff gooped up here. You can see where it's been gooped up. So, you know, both these fenders have got rust holes in them that have been filled with filler. And again, you have to think about your budget. Do I want to, you know, pay somebody to fix these fenders and put them on the truck that are 75-year-old fenders, or should I just go ahead and buy new ones? You know, I mean, it's kind of a catch-22. Of course, it depends on, you know, if you're doing the truck yourself and your labor is basically free, then yeah, you probably would want to fix these. But I'm doing this for somebody else, and I'm building this truck for somebody else. So, and he's paying me labor. So, you know, is it in his best interest to use these old parts and pay me to fix them, or is it in his best interest to just have me buy new parts and, you know, basically you just gotta scuff them and paint them? You know, I don't know. I gotta have that conversation with him. He's gonna have to make that decision. And some people, they don't want body putty in their cars. They don't want, you know, a bunch of body filler or a bunch of holes that have been filled. You know, they want solid steel. So, you know, if you're kind of a perfectionist, or you want a vehicle that doesn't have rust that's been repaired, then you might want to buy new. But if you don't care, you know, if you want to make a, you know, if he's going to make a rat rod out of this thing, or, you know, have patina on it, stuff like that, then yeah, you could just leave it like this. You could actually throw these fenders on the truck and, you know, clear coat it, and, you know, I mean, the hood, I'd probably want to do something with the hood. It looks pretty ugly, but you know, you could do a little nothing on these things if you're going to do a rat rod. But he wants this thing painted black, which is a very hard color to paint, and it shows every imperfection possible. So he wants it painted black. So he's supposed to come over here in the next couple days, and I got to talk to him about these front end parts, and, you know, the hood and all that, and see what we want to do. Now the cab, obviously we're going to have to replace metal in it. I'm not going to replace the whole cab, so, you know, that would be way too expensive. But I can replace the metal in it, no big deal, and I'll do that and show you guys. All right, so that's about it for now. I'm going to wrap this up. This is the first video on the 48, and we're going to get started on it, and I'll make videos and show you guys my progress as we go. And let's see. Yeah. I don't know. I was going to flip it around, but I don't know how to do that with this phone. Anyhow, so that's my video for now. Here, we'll just do this. That's my video for now. And I appreciate you guys watching, and you know, subscribe to my channel, because this is going to be quite a long build, so I'm probably going to make a lot of videos of it. And I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.